Hello everyone, LukeFullSmith here. In this video I'm going to be doing a review on the Shadows of Rose DLC for Resident Evil Village. I downloaded it the day after because I wanted to play it on a weekend. Played it in third person. It is part of the Winter's expansion, which comes with obviously the main event Shadows of Rose DLC, a third person mode for the main game, and some extra characters for the Mercenaries mode. I'm going to be playing through the game in third person, through the main game in third person, and doing the Mercenaries and giving my take on the Winter's expansion on another video. But in this one I'm going to be just talking about the Shadows of Rose DLC. Now, I absolutely loved it. I think it's the best DLC that Capcom has ever made for a Resident Evil game. It used to be the Not a Hero and End of Zoe DLC, but them ones were dead short. This one had a bit of length to it. Now, yes, there is going to be spoilers. I'm going to be putting it up in the title spoilers, so you have been warned. Basically starts out Rose's friend, who's like a scientist. He doesn't even say in it, but he just like works in this lab, and he wants to help Rose get rid of her powers, because obviously like she's got powers. She's got the power of the mold from the events of Resident Evil Village. This is set 16 years after the main game, so it's set in the distant future. And she goes into the mold and finds out that it's all different, and Leduc is evil, and he's like the main bad guy in one of the sections. And when you're in obviously the castle is the first one, and the main thing is you have to find the purifying crystal, and you've got to find 3 masks to get to it. But big shock, purifying crystal is fake, and you've got to fight a executioner boss who like he's got loads of faces. The enemy type, even though technically there's about 1 or 2 enemy types, they mainly like attack by sucking his soul out, which is really a bit morbid. But you can shake them off. I played it on casual first because I wanted to explore at my own leisure more. But once you fight the boss, you actually go deeper into a deeper stratum. They actually call them stratums in this one. Another thing, you can actually use Rose's powers to get rid of enemies, like stun enemies for a bit, and get rid of these Sclerotia bulb things to get like items and clear the way, which I thought was really interesting and it really good game element, what they did there. So I'm actually quite pleased that they kept that in. The second bit was the doll's house, House of Berriento, from Village again, and it was basically just like Ethan, different puzzles, and the big baby thing does not hunt you down. However, there is something worse, and I do think the enemy, the thing that hunts you down in this one, is a bit more scarier than the sweaty baby fetus thing. So yeah, they actually did really good job on the house part. There is a boss in the second part, but I'm not going to tell you. I was actually quite surprised on who it was on the Berriento house part. So yeah, I was actually quite impressed. Again, you don't use any of your items or ammunition in it. You have to basically use your powers and sneak away and stuff. So yeah, you have to be stealthy in the second part. And on the last part, you're basically going back into the village. You got all your items back, and there is another enemy type, a bit like the Soul Sucker enemies, but they're basically a version of you, but like evil, and they've been turned. So you basically have to like avoid them. There's not that many, and defeat the boss at the end. The third section is not very long. It's just like basically a lengthy boss fight you have to do. Now I found it interesting that they incorporated the Duke into it as like an evil Duke. They did have enough lore to explain why he's evil and what the realm is that you're in, like this weird Megamycete world place. So it was a little bit confusing, but they had a bit of a twist at the end, and you're getting helped by this character called Michael, which is basically, you see words of what he says all over the place. He does not reveal himself yet until the end, but he does leave you items and stuff in the castle section, which is handy. And there is like also another thing in the trailer. It had like another version of Rose, which I thought was going to be like an evil version, but it turns out she helps you, so that's actually quite nice. And yeah, just like go through it and collect items. Like the only difficult bits I found was the first boss, and the stealthing around the dolls in the second section. So those only like the tedious ones that I actually had a bit of a hard time with. But other than that, I did actually enjoy it. It gave us more of Rose's story, more lore on the Megamycete, and it actually finished it off quite well. And even like the final scene in it basically was the final end credit scene of the main game. So it's basically set before she goes out to her father's grave to lay flowers. I thought it was set after that, but it turned out it was set before that, which actually makes sense really. So yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. I kind of wish it was a bit longer. However, they did say it was the longer DLC that they'd make. I completed it in about 3.5 hours. So I know people's done speedruns of it in like 45 minutes, but I like to take my time with games. I'm in no rush to complete them. I like to explore the environments and stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think of the DLC in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think your favourite part is? I found it a bit creepy in the doll section, and like a little bit weird in the that one as well. I was kind of expecting what the final boss was like, because it was leading that way. You know it was. I was surprised that you didn't have to fight the Duke, though. You don't need to fight him, but he basically controls the mold essentially in this one. But if you read the files in the lab section, which is further on in the game near the end, you'll find out why the Duke is like that. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to end it off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, really appreciate it. And also up there's my links if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.